All right, guys, welcome to Soul Claps with Randi B and LC from ICan'tBeFamous.com, and we are discussing whatever's on your mind. We talk about what you think about on Soul Claps in a quick, fun, enthusiastic way. So we're going to get started. LC, you pick the topic this time. Get us started.
All right, so as of today, on my blog and on your blog, Randi, I wrote about the death of my man, Bill Withers. And like that actually, you know, I talk all the time about being a musician.
Yep.
And basically what that means for me is like, you know, I play piano, but then I also, you know, rap, I also sing, you know, and as a songwriter, Bill Withers is one of those artists that I actually studied a lot. And the reason why is because he had a way of tapping into real human emotions that weren't surface level, but they were able to connect different people together. Even though he made it very clear he was a black man and he was proud to be black, stuff that's pretty much universal. Like, it wasn't something that, you know, only a section of people can understand. Like, who doesn't understand lean on me? Who doesn't understand, like, man, I need a friend. You know what I mean? Like, I need somebody to help me.
I can lean on. Lord have mercy, yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like who don't want to feel outside, go outside feeling like it's a lovely day, like, or somebody to sing just the two of us to you. You know what I mean? Like those are universal things that he was able to tap into. And like, I was actually super sad to hear that he died. The messed up thing is even more messed up than him dying, which clearly has messed up.
Right.
But like, my first thought was, what's up?
How old was he around?
81. He was 81. So he was able to live, you know, a full life. But come on, man. Like certain people just shouldn't die, man.
They ain't supposed to die, like, ever. We don't. Well, you know what? You don't when they're.
You know what I mean? Yes. And the bad thing, even worse than, you know, him going, was giving everything that's happening around us right now. When he passed, my first thought was, I hope the corona didn't do it.
Oh, absolutely. That's what we think, right? It's always the corona.
But it was, you know, it was actually like heart complications. But, you know, I guess comes with the territory when you get to, you know, that age. But, you know, I was actually just sad to hear about that for real, because he was somebody that was able to touch a lot of different people. And for me personally, I don't know anybody else out there. My favorite song from Bill Withers, it's called I Just Can't Write Left-Handed. Now, the reason why is it's a story about a soldier who was in war and got injured. I forget which war he was singing about.
Right.
I'm going to take a guess. It might have been Vietnam, but I could be 100% wrong about that.
I think it was probably Vietnam. I didn't
hear but he was, you know, talking about a soldier who got injured, and then it made that soldier question everything. Like, why am I in this war? What did I sign up for? What are we fighting for? Was me getting injured worth, you know, the mission? And I thought it was an important song because, like, you know, even in today's era, when it comes to like support the troops, which of course you should support the troops, but a lot of times we don't really check up on the soldiers' well-being. Like, when you look at all the veterans who are not being taken care of in terms of like their mental health, not being taken care of in terms of how many homeless veterans there might be out there, you forget that they're people. Like, it's not just the troops. It's just not just a name that we can just throw to everything. Like, no, those are actual people who have actual families that are getting affected by them being shipped off into these dangerous areas, being shipped off into these wars. And then you start to think to yourself, what are we really doing to our citizens? What are we really doing to our people? And is it worth the pain that we're putting them through? And that's what it's amazing that he was right. And it was amazing that he was able to write. I'm pretty sure it was in the 70s that he wrote that, but it's amazing that he was able to write that at this point, almost 50 years ago. And these things are still relevant topics. You know what I mean? So man, R.I.P. Bill Withers, man. That sucks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't know that song, your favorite song, like I said, because, you know, you always go deep in the crates, you know, and educate me about some stuff. You know, I'm usually just knowing, like, the top 100s. So I'm definitely going to, when we get off this phone call or our conference call, our soul clap session, I'm definitely going to check it out.
And also, for that song, once again, it's called I Just Can't Write Left-Handed.
Yep.
John Legend and the Roots also did a cover version of that song, which is musically amazing. I mean, as musicians, like the Roots, of course, we all know what they can do.
Yeah.
But they did an amazing version of that song where You know what I mean? Like it gave new life to a very important topic that Bill was trying to put forward. But regardless, rest in peace, Bill Withers. You
Rest
did
in peace,
massive
my
things
brother.
for
Yes,
humanity.
thank you. Which brings me to the topic I want to discuss today is, have you taken a second to just reflect on how our folks, how Black folks culturally just help us, our culture helps us get through bad times? Like, it just strikes me how, yes, the music, you got DJ Nice spinning tunes and things, and how our artists are coming out saying, like, Cardi B coming out with coronavirus, and how that went viral,
And that
right?
turned it into a whole thing. Yeah,
A whole thing. And, how our memes, like, people on the internet are just like sick because they just always busting out with some new memes and things. Just the minute somebody says something, I'm like, oh, that's going to be a meme tomorrow, or really in an hour. Or, so I just wanted to ask you, like, okay, we got to talk about the dances, right? How we were making up these dances, and people are, it's a trend that, everybody from home with their families are doing TikTok, which my kids will not do with me because obviously, in their opinions, I'm the most embarrassing creature that ever lived. But
you got to sneak into their TikTok. Wait for them to do one and just sneak it in the back. That's what you got to do.
So there's a whole, like, okay, all right, okay. So
you got to ninja
right?
your way into that. You got to ninja your way into that.
Okay, all right. So have you, like, has that like struck you at all about, how our culture just, like, whether it be civil rights movement or whether it be when we were enslaved or whatever, we always have this way of, even when we're down, because, like, this is, like, terrible times, that we still find a way to bring some joy to help us get through and make it day by day.
Well, like, for me, it's interesting because, like, I mean, as much as it sucks, Black people are not new to tough times, right? So we've always found a way to not make light of things, because, like, obviously we know what's happening out here, but
Right.
There's also something to understanding that you can't let whatever is happening to you defeat your spirit. Because, like, if you are spiritually defeated by whatever's happened to you, you'll never be able to come up with a solution to something. You'll never be able to bounce back from whatever's hurt you. Like, you could, like, I mean, not to just make this all about music, but you can loop it back to, take the blues, for example. The blues is one of the most influential genres of music ever. Like, it's found its way into jazz, it's found its way into R&B, it found its way into rock music, and it's literally about singing about tough shit.
Right. Like, in a real way.
Right. It's about, and that's why it started to permeate just outside of Black people, because another part of that was we're finding ways to express the fact that we're not different from anybody else. That's why it's not like only Black people love the blues. White people did too, just because
everybody loves our music.
Right. Everybody loves, and when it comes to certain subject matters, because even country music took roots from the blues too.
Country music right.
It's just like, real human experiences are universal. It's not something that is just it's not just a Black person thing. So we're able to express ourselves in a way that can be others. And we also understand that, like, yeah, tough times suck, but tough people are able to overcome that. We can talk about the things that are fucked up. We can talk about the things that, which we should. We should always be discussing we should always be discussing ways to make things better, but also you can't lose yourself completely in the process. You know what I mean? Just like, I know, like, there's sometimes, like, you'll see certain memes, you like, you guys need to joke about everything. Yeah.
Yes, that's what we do. That is how we get through. I mean, anybody who's ever been to a Black person's, if you're not Black, if you've been to a Black person's funeral or wake or something, we will be cracking, like, literally cracking on the person whom we just buried. Like, remember,
100%.
So as a matter of fact, he still owes me money from that. And that is love for us. Like
right.
if we don't love you, if we can't talk about you and Jones on you, we don't love you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny you say that. I mean, obviously it's not something I'm thinking about happening soon, right. God willing. But I feel like I would have to, like, write in a will or something where it's like, yo, keep the story to a minimum at my funeral. Because I know people can roast me, and it's like, listen, man, hey, hey, so take certain stories to the grave. Take them to the grave.
To the grave.
Don't let. There's certain things people don't need to know, baby. They don't need to know.
But what's interesting is though we've always been able to laugh sometimes while we're crying, and I think that we help entire countries and nations get through, and I just want to celebrate us for that, because I've just watched how everybody has clasped on, as they always have in the past, our culture, to help us shed some light, some healing, and some hope during tough times. So I just want to give a shout out to us. And for those people who do not understand what misappropriation is, let me throw in a quick little lesson. Misappropriation is when you have these Black, usually urban children, creating these dances that become all the rage because a white person has filmed it on TikTok, and they get credit for it, and they get invited to games and to show it, and usually just not show it quite as fresh and dope as we did it, but they get credit for it and accolades for it, when somebody else, our whole entire culture, the credit, the whatever, has been taken. And so that hurts, when that happens.
Which unfortunately has been happening since the beginning of at the beginning of time.
But when people ask me why can't we celebrate other people's stuff, I'm like, we welcome you to, right? We don't make it unless you do, but it's a problem when we do something, like we turn in a paper and get an F for it, and then you turn in the same paper and get an A for it. right? And so I was like, that's the problem. So that's misappropriate. You're just completely taking over something. But that's just a side note. We have time for one more quick soul clap. What's your topic, my brother? What's your topic? What you want to talk about? You just wrote about this. I mean, not to go from up to down, but we did talk about getting us through these unemployment numbers.
I'm actually more sad now than I was when I wrote that article, because when I wrote it, all right, so for people who don't know, on my site, which I can't be famous.com.
Yes.
All right, so on my on the site, I wrote about, I think it was the week ending in March 26th or something like that. But either way, the unemployment number, 3.3 million unemployment claims were filed with the Labor Department, right? That's in the span of a week. And that's all because of everything that's happening right now. And I thought that was bad. Which, for people who need some point of reference, during the recession back in 2008, the highest was 650,000 in the span of a week, right? So now, fast forward to now, 3.3 million people have filed for unemployment in the span of a week. But even worse than that, I saw the second week numbers. I didn't see the second week numbers when I wrote about it the first time. The second week numbers were about an additional 6 million people. So we're closing in on almost 10 million people filing for unemployment in a 2-week period. I don't even know how to, I'm a math guy by nature, and I don't know how to make sense of those numbers. I don't know how to express to people that, and even though I always said, I felt like the financial impact from the virus would be worse than the physical, not because I'm taking the physical lightly. I'm actually trying not to get sick. Please keep 10 feet, fuck 6 feet, stay 10 feet away from me, please. But
right.
But even though I take that seriously, it's just, we're now realizing that America can't stop. And it can't stop because the minute people stop working, everything very quickly starts to go to shit.
Yes.
And now people don't got jobs, people can't pay rent, companies is out here trying to get bailouts, and it's just man, and it happened, what is this, in a couple months, 2 months at least, everything has just gone completely off the rails. And it's it's kind of frightening. It's kind of frightening.
It's very, very frightening. It's very, very frightening, which, first of all, let me just send my love to every single person, because everybody is affected financially.
Absolutely.
I know, or, in some way, this whole economic climate right now, because everyone I know, either they have lost their jobs temporarily, lost their jobs permanently, or are in a situation where they are working, but my friends who have jobs are like, okay, I'm about to quit. I'm trying to be thankful. I'm trying to say to myself, I should be thankful because I have a job, but they're getting like slammed because work is just so insane right now, right?
Either getting slammed, or I know a couple of people who are getting paid less.
Oh yes, that's happened a lot.
It's just like that.
So that's tough, right? It's tough, and what I want to say to people is, we try to say, they always say that the term misery loves company is a bad thing. I don't think misery loves company, but it is good to know that you're not alone, and that we're all like, everybody's affected, and we just feel you, right? And so, we're just gonna find ways we're gonna get over it. We're gonna get through it, because
absolutely,
I just, it just might be a little ugly in the meantime. It's gonna be ugly.
It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough to get back there. It's gonna be rough
to get back there. But look, we're gonna be there talking with everybody. We can guarantee that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Somehow, if I don't pay it,
keep my sanity in the process.
I'm gonna pay my Wi-Fi, my cable, so I can connect, so we can connect with you, right? We might be sitting in the dirt, but we go. You can count on us to show up.
Just get you a candle. Get you a candle. And some and some wine, and it will make it happen.
I'm always gonna have my wine and Wi-Fi. I can promise you that. So we'll sign off. Hope you guys appreciate us coming like live, and y'all seeing our people said, we want a deeper connection. So y'all are seeing us. We're not fancy. Y'all see, we're just doing this from home, but we wanted to connect with you.
And apologize if I'm out here looking crazy, because listen, I've been in the house just drinking for a while. So, hey, guys, listen.
We all listen. We got to do the best we can. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
It's only because of them I put on lip gloss, because I usually haven't even showered by now. Oh, actually, oh shit, I haven't showered today yet, but I did put on lip gloss.
Yeah, no, I actually, and the thing is, hey, people, I actually shaved, man. Like, it's been
fancy.
I've been in here looking like Wolfman for a second.
You got fancy for us. We appreciate you.
I had to do something.
I try to wait. I shower. I've been showering at night because I try to like work out. So if I shower, that in my mind tells me I'm not gonna work out. But that's a whole nother topic for our next episode. I appreciate you, LC. I appreciate everybody out there, guys. Just know we are here with you. We're gonna get through it together, apart.
Absolutely.
Till next time.
Till next time, people. Yeah.